means that we can finally start to give you a little bit of clarity as to the situation. The clarity is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left his role as Manchester United manager. Look.
So Conor McGregor put out a tweet about 2 weeks ago which said that there is a lack of authority at Manchester United and eventually it will get the best of the management. So I have to agree with Conor McGregor because he's a Manchester United fan and he was absolutely right. United are in shambles right now. Considering the current landscape of the club, what should be the next step? Because there are a lot of talks about Brendan Rodgers as he's the only option available right now for Manchester United. Ten Hag has been committed with Ajax since last season till 2023. Other than that, we got another solution which is Fletcher taking over as interim manager. But if you are a Manchester United decision maker at the hierarchy of the club, what would you do in the current landscape?
And I'm all for it, to be honest. I'm all for the sack for Ole because I feel like it's been too much time that's been afforded to him. If he was the same manager and the same team, and he was getting the same results in Italy, he wouldn't last like 3 months. It's going to be very difficult for you to stay on the job like this when you're expected to be competing for titles, but you're struggling to get into the top 4. I know that you finished number 2 last season, which is a good result by any stretch of the imagination for this Manchester United team. But now that this summer window, you've strengthened, you've gotten your long lost target of Sancho, you brought in a brilliant Cristiano, and obviously you've already got Pogba, Bruno, and even Harry Maguire to some extent. A lot of people put hate on him, but I do rate him as a defender. Just looking at what he was able to do for England at the Euros, I do really like what he was able to bring onto the table. But for some reason, good players become average under Ole, and okay players become absolute dog shit in Ole's team. And that's where a lot of the players who were okay under previous managers, just namely Harry Maguire, it comes to the forefront. And then there's Luke Shaw. On his day, he's okay, right? He's not that bad, but he's been playing very, very bad under Ole. So I think it was about time, and I think it's about time that they let go of Ole and bring someone else in. And that's where the debate comes in. Who comes in to replace him? I know that you and I were talking about this, and they weren't really a good option. And I jokingly said only if they had David Moyes that they could bring back in. And probably the best, I think, stylistically is going to be probably a best fit. But unfortunately, he's an ex-Manchester United manager. Came in at the wrong time, right after Fergie was leaving. So I would love to see him back at United, but why would he leave the current job he's got? He's doing absolutely great there. Now, the managers that are left, Brendan Rodgers sounds like a good shout. And the reason I say that is because he's the only good option that United kind of have left, right? So who do you see? Like, is like a top 3 in your mind right now for the managers who can come in to replace Ole?
I mean, Brendan Rodgers does have a perfect game plan that can apply to United's philosophy right now when it comes down to the basics of football. But Brendan Rodgers is a top 6 manager and United need to aim a little bit higher. Leicester City have got a wonderful squad, but the best he got out of them is a 5th spot in the Premier League, and they eventually fell short, losing last year at Manchester United, and they lost a run of matches last season as well. So top 5 finishes are not what is required at Manchester United. They need to aim a little bit higher and look at a 5-year plan. That would be the most reliable way to get the best out of the current squad and build players like Greenwood, Sancho, who can take the mental from Ronaldo and Cavani. Now, I have Roberto Mancini. Maybe they can get him because I always rate Mancini's Manchester City above Pep Guardiola's current Manchester City because he did it without all the funds. Sure, he was bad financially, but the kind of game plan that he implemented, and he went neck on neck with Alex Ferguson. Both got 88 points, United and City, and it went down to the win at QPR in a very dramatic fashion when Aguero scored that stunner. Now, that is the kind of manager that can get the best out of the current players. Mancini has a fixed style of play. Right now, Italy failed to qualify from their group. They finished second. Now they are into the other round where they have to play a bunch of teams to get to the one-legged semi-final, and they have to win the final to make it to Qatar. So that is a perfect time where you can get a manager like Roberto Mancini. Another option that I would pick is Erik Ten Haag. They have to pay a lot of money to get him because he signed a contract with Ajax until 2023. In the last 5 years, he has been one of the most consistent managers in Europe. So Erik Ten Haag and Roberto Mancini should be the options. Zidane does not give me the vibe of successful manager in English football. I think people will be too harsh on him and judge him quickly because he will not be given a lot of time like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's not a United player, first of all. Secondly, the kind of trophies that he has won, the kind of silverware he has collected, you expect a lot right from the very first game. So that is why I think Zidane is not the best option right now. And if they went for Carrick or Fletcher as interim boss, then I think it's putting an axe on your own feet. That is the kind of thing that United should avoid. So considering the current landscape, and suppose a managerial change takes place, a good managerial change takes place, what can be the expectations? How do they alter from the start of the season?
Well, this team is for sure is a top 4 team. There isn't a doubt in my mind that it's a top 4 team. It's probably better than a top 4 team, even, I would say that right now, because you cannot compare to the Manchester Cities and the Liverpools of Premier League. They are playing on a different plane right now. It's an entirely different league that they are a part of. Everyone else is just competing, trying to catch up to them. So I would the team in terms of talent, I would put them on par with Chelsea, right? Very good midfield and a great attack, right? So we've got Lukaku, but then you got the player who beat him last season to the Golden Boot of Serie A, Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So the team is on par in terms of capability with Chelsea, right? Obviously, there's some players who Chelsea have a little bit better, like defense for sure. Chelsea has a better defense than what United possess right now. But you've got Varane, who's a great player, and he should be able to really come into his own under someone who's able to actually coach him, right? So you got to keep that in mind. So if someone comes in and is able to really have some ideas and is able to coach the team, I think the bunch of players that United have got, it's for sure a top 4 team, if not better.